Hello everyone, welcome back to today's tutorial. And in today's tutorial we're going to dive right into how to download these amazing scripts from codecanyon.net. So let's get right into it. I'm just going to open my preferred browser. For me, I have Opera Mini, so I'm going to go ahead and type codecanyon.net. And yeah, so today we're going to be looking at an online bus tickets booking application. So you go ahead and click on the search button. That brings up a bunch of things, but we're going to be looking at this one. So you click on it, so you can see the details of the app. This is an online bus tickets booking application written in Flutter. It can function both in Android and iOS. The price here, as you can see, and you can go ahead and check some screenshots, or you check your live preview. I advise you go through the documentation of the app so you could understand basically how the app works and the features in the application. So the next thing you want to do is to go ahead and add this to cart. So once you add to cart, you can see this item is added to cart page, and you could change details or proceed to go to checkout. For the course of this video, we will not be passing through this route because we've already purchased this script. So it's a simple process. Go ahead and just go to checkout and complete the payment process. Yeah, so once that is done, you want to go ahead and install the right tools in order to use your application perfectly well. Alright, so one of the tools that you're going to be using is Flutter. In order for you to run this application, so you need Flutter SDK. So what you're going to do is go to Flutter documentation, and in Flutter documentation you want to go ahead and click on this install Flutter, since you need the SDK. So yeah, you could go ahead to read the SDK. So you could have Flutter for Windows, you could have for your Mac OS, you could have for your operating systems with Linux, as well as Chrome OS. So the documentation is quite straightforward. You could check some other stuff out here and you're good to go. So once that is done, the next thing you want to go ahead and do is to get Android Studio or your preferred IDE in order to run this mobile application. So you just go ahead and go to developers.android.com/studio. Yeah, and once that is done, you have this page where you could quickly just download the latest version of Android Studio, which is Ladybug. Or if you're wanting to download the previous version, you could just go down here. Give me a second. I think this stuff is glitching. I think it's my network. Okay, so going down here, you could see Android latest versions and more information. These are previous versions, so you could just pick any one of them. Okay, let's go through the documentation, and that is all. If you want to use Visual Studio Code, you could just use the official documentation to download Visual Studio Code. So down here you want to go to click on this first one, or maybe this other one. Yeah, so once that is done, you see this page pop up, and you can download for Windows if you're using Windows, and follow up with the documentation for necessary configuration, right? Good. So once that is done, you want to go ahead and open your preferred IDE in order to open this application. So one of the things we're going to do here is, I already have the application open before now. So you want to go ahead and check the classes and folders in the application. So for your first time, you would go ahead to do something like Flutter clean. So you have to clean the project and then rebuild the Gradle. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say Flutter clean, right? So it usually takes a couple of times depending on your system specification, and also depending on if you're running this for the first time. So just have that at the back of your mind. So the next thing you want to do is Flutter pub get. This is going to help you to recompile. I think there's a problem there, so you say Flutter pub get. This should be correct. So as usual, this is a command line, so you send it to some commands that you give it. So Flutter pub get, resolve dependencies, build your Gradle again, and you should be good to go. Yeah, and again, just bear at the back of your mind, this might take longer than expected. Just give it time and everything should be up and running. So once that is done, you want to go ahead and try to run your application. Oh, I think I still have some fixes that needs to be done. It's coming up, so yeah. So you want to go ahead and run your application. So the command for that is simply flutter run. So this is going to build your application on your local device, and you'll get to see it. So for our case, I'm using a physical device. So should, in case you want to use your emulator, you have to go to Android Studio. Android Studio you downloaded, and set up your preferred emulator. And once that is done, it should pop up here. If you're using Visual Studio Code and if you're using Android Studio, it's going to pop up, and all you need to do is to just mirror it, and you're going to see the application. So we're going to go ahead and press this so we could run our application and see the live view of it. Yeah, again, I just want to put that at the back of your mind. This usually takes a bit more time, so considering the fact that you'll be running the app for the first time, it could take pretty much, not really too much, but just a couple of minutes and you should be good to go, right? Okay, so we have our app running and everything was successful. You can see the time here. Let's go ahead and check it out. So this is how our application looks like. You have your first interface screen, you get started, and you could decide to create an account or go ahead and log in. So yeah, that is how to install a Flutter script using CodeCayenne. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to this channel, and see you next time.